Your test result was hand-delivered to you, folded. Did you receive that?
I was made aware of my test. I didn't look at it yet, so.
Do you have it with you?
It is. It's in my paperwork somewhere.
All right, I need you to locate it and open it up, please.
May I ask the reason why that would be?
Mr. Brooks, you raised this issue yourself, and I'd like to know the result.
I would too, but I was kind of in the middle of preparing for my defense, so
Mr. Brooks, find the piece of paper and open it up and read it, please.
Your Honor, I don't consent to being talked to in that fashion.
Your lack of consent is noted for the record. Please find the piece of paper, open it up, and please read it.
I will not consent to that, Your Honor. Or do I agree to that, Your Honor? I do not.
Mr. Brooks, then I'm going to advise the Sheriff's Department to find the piece of paper and hand it to me so that I can read it.
And
so that those are your two options.
What would be the basis for that, Your Honor?
Mr. Brooks, this is an issue that you raised, and I need to bring it to finality and know what the test result is.
Okay, with all due respect, it was a motion that I raised.
All right, I'm going to clear the courtroom. We're going to go off the record, and we're going to find that piece of paper, and I'm going to address it when that's done. It's my understanding there was some type of situation or altercation between Mr. Brooks and the deputies. Ultimately, though, I think he was taken into the bullpen. He was brought back out, but it was very clear to me that he was upset. But I needed to make a record of what was being done, including that I have obtained the test result. So there's an accurate record in this case related to the motion that was raised previously by Mr. Brooks. I want Mr. Brooks to know that I am not removing him from when the jurors are brought back in. It was just simply because he was upset. He was very loud when I walked into the courtroom before going on back on the record. He was yelling about his constitutional rights being violated. I advised him that if there was any type of use of force that he wanted to complain about, he could certainly do that through the proper channels with the Sheriff's Department, but just given his state of agitation and my need to make a record, I had him taken to the other courtroom. He is currently muted. I can confirm that the test result for COVID-19 was negative. And again, I required the Sheriff's Department to provide that result to me, and it was, and it will remain under seal. I realize I'm disclosing that result, but I feel obligated to do that given the motion that was raised 2 days ago by Mr. Brooks. Again, I intend to take an early lunch, so that will hopefully give Mr. Brooks an opportunity, if he so chooses, to review the result himself. It was put in front of him. I did see that he either shoved it or tossed it or just dismissed it. It looked like it went on the floor when it was put in front of him, but we'll certainly have the deputies give that to him again. During the recess for lunch, Mr. Brooks will also be given the opportunity to change into street clothes if he so chooses. But when we come back, he will be in this courtroom. I let him, make his objections or lack of consent. He did that respectfully. When I said I was moving on, he generally was able to do that. We were able to get through 2 witnesses. He was able to follow along, ask cogent, clear, responsive, and articulate objections. He was able to elicit information from the witnesses regarding either their memory, their credibility, and other things. Generally speaking, he's been able to competently represent himself and provide, again, solid cross-examination this morning. So I'm going to give him an opportunity to hopefully settle back in and to come back here when we return from lunch. So with that, We are in recess. Probably come back at 1 o'clock, since it's only 11:30, and we'll take the full 90 minutes for lunch today. All right, thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
All right, Mr. Brooks, anything you want to address at this point? It's hard for me to see his head. He's bent over, but I thought I saw him shaking his head. No, but I'll ask one more time. Mr. Brooks, anything you want me to address before the jurors are brought out to continue with testimony from witnesses?
Just a little emotional right now.
All right. Let's bring the jury out. We'll continue. I presume the state has a witness available.
We do.
All right. Thank you.
I'll say something really quick.
Mr. Brooks, the jury is headed out, but why don't you hold off on that, and at the next appropriate time when they're not on their way in, I can address whatever it is. Or if you want to pass me a note, you can do that as well.
I received a complaint to respond in emergency fashion, which means light and siren, for subjects fighting in the park with a knife allegedly involved.
Where were you coming from?
I was in the patrol area of East Moreland, roughly at East Main Street at the time, and that's where I was responding from.
Was Main Street shut down at the time for the parade?
Main Street where I was responding from was not, no.
Okay. I guess let me ask a better question. Were you able to travel along Main Street to get to Frame Park? From where you were located to get to where you needed to go, did you travel on Main Street?
I did not travel on Main Street to get to Frame Park.
Okay. This time, Your Honor, I'm going to ask your permission to put up Exhibit 1, which is the map of the area we've been working off of.
Permission granted.
So that is a touch screen in front of you. If you want to draw or circle or anything like that, you may, or you can just simply talk. I'd like you to identify for us where you came in to the area.
That would be, looks like the vicinity that I probably responded to. I would need to see a bigger image. That will suffice.
Okay.
So I responded in a direction on White Rock Avenue, coming this way. This now is Baxter Avenue, which I would have made a right-hand turn onto. And right about in this parking lot area.
Did you drive around a little bit?
I drove around in the parking lot of the Shootsy building. There was another officer already on scene who, from my understanding, was already on foot in and around the vicinity of the Shootsy building and advised that they could not find anybody at the Shootsy building.
Okay. Officer Phillips, do you see White Rock School on this map?
I do, yes.
Could you put an X on White Rock School?
White Rock School is this elongated building right here, so I'll draw a large X through it.
Okay.
I pulled my squad over. I exited my driver's side of the vehicle, came around to the front of my vehicle when a short black female who was wearing what appeared to be a blue coat and blue jeans walked in the front of my patrol vehicle. There was two other subjects that were with her, and they started to indicate that she had been assaulted by a boyfriend of some type.
Did you see any injury on her?
So at that time, I did. She had an obvious black eye on one side of her face. The other eye also looked like it was swollen, but it was appear that she had facial injuries that were obvious.
Did you eventually ask this person for her name?
I did eventually ask for her name, yes.
What did she tell you?
She told me that her full name was Erica Patterson. The calls on the radio at that point were 1078 after 1078 after 1078.
Okay, what does that mean?
So 1078 in law enforcement jargon is officer needs immediate assistance right now, all available units. As that was being called multiple times, other people were coming on the radio and stating there were subjects down in the street, then it was 10 people down, then it was 15, then it was to 30 or 40. The greater danger and the clear and present threat that was happening downtown had to draw my attention. I had to leave.
All right. The events that you've described for us so far, are those all captured on your squad video, sir?
Yes.
And this is a clip from that squad video?
It appears to be, yes.
Okay. Move to admit and permission to publish Exhibit 6, please.
Mr. Brooks, any position on that?
Yeah, what is the grounds? We haven't seen what's in the video.
Your objection is noted. It is overruled. Exhibit 6 is received. Permission to publish is granted.
We just have to get to the main and burn, so if somebody got hit.
What? What? Black guy, red SUV, just assaulted my friend in the park. Oh, shit!
This baby daddy, he not hit me. So they call the cops.
You guys involved with a knife or something?
You can check me.
Okay.
Nice.
Okay.
I've already been slashed with the knife.
Let me pull over here.
Yeah,
Stand by me, you need a 1052, I copy 854.
122, out there, car, Bedford, westbound. Hey, hold on for a second, okay? 216, I need another at Hartwell and White Rock. I have another person reported being assaulted. Okay. White Rock, Hartwell, right.
Me and my baby daddy, we argue all the time.
Okay.
They understand when he ran me over with cars. Right now we're just talking on the street. Nothing is happening. There's no knife, nothing. They call and send me and we argue with me.
Someone running through the parade route at a high rate of speed.
I think the women's shelter.
3206, 1078, 1078. Okay. 102! Hey, 1078! We have about 10 to 15 people down in the street! Who assaulted you? Who ran?
We're arguing, we're insulting. They call.
Do we have a weapon?
We have multiple subjects down, 10 to 15 people, main and gas fire, repeating, main and gas fire, 1078.
They call. There's no fucking weapon.
I didn't call it. You gotta handle that, that's fine. Okay, what is your name? Give me your name. Harris, what's your date of birth?
October 7, 1990.
So, 10/7/1990? Erica Patterson? Okay. Okay.
I copy 1078.
Well, my unit 552, King County People's Park, female, not conscious, not alert, not breathing. King County, everybody here available now. Well, everyone's got multiple critical fractures. Got an unconscious, unresponsive 5-year-old. I'm trying to get into the vehicle again.
Was that you running away from your squad, sir?
That was me running away, yes.
Okay. Go ahead and have a seat, please. When you got to Main Street, where'd you go?
You saw me running down towards the center of the street. At that point, I was just trying to assist any officer, EMS, civilian individual that was around, and it was just mass chaos, carnage everywhere.
Did you attempt to render aid to some injured individuals?
There was approximately 2 to 3 individuals I can remember talking to directly. They were all members of the band. I don't know which band it was. It was one of the high school bands. There was a number of them laying in the street, obviously injured. I had face-to-face contact with a few of them laying on the ground. There were parents screaming at me to help their kids. The third person I came across was also a band member. She was a female. Her leg was obviously injured. She was being held upright by a couple of adults. And I asked her what was wrong, what was hurting, if there's anything more serious with her as she was being held up. And she said, "Officer, I saw what happened. I saw who did this." And I said, "What can you tell me?" And she said, "A red SUV sped through the parade and did this."
These 3 injured individuals you spoke to, would you describe them all as being about teenage years?
Objection.
Overruled, he may answer.
This is the grounds, Your Honor.
Overruled, he may answer.
So is he gonna answer to the question, to
Yes.
the prosecution table, or to the jury? I'm not sure. He's looking at them answering the questions, but they're not answering the question, asking the questions.
You may answer the question, sir.
The 3 individuals that I met with initially had band uniforms on, and it was my understanding that the band from that vicinity right then and there was a high school band, so I would place them all at teenage age range.
Okay, thank you. Were you aware that at some point a person was taken into custody in the 500 block of Elizabeth Street that was related to this incident, sir?
Objection, irrelevant.
Overruled.
I was made aware a little while after my involvement directly in the downtown area, yes.
Did you learn the name of the person who had been taken into custody?
Yes.
What was that name?
I knew from radio traffic at the time that it was a Darrell Brooks.
Did you have an opportunity to go back and try and investigate the initial complaint you had taken from Erica Patterson?
I did identify Ms. Patterson fully by positive ID, yes.
And did you learn of any complaints that have been filed by Ms. Patterson in the past to other police agencies?
Objection, irrelevant.
Overruled, he may answer the question that's being posed at this point.
I did conduct some more investigation after my involvement in the entire mass casualty incident. When I went back to the police department afterwards, and I was able to verify that Erica Patterson had been involved in other police cases outside of Waukesha.
And specifically, could you find anything linking Ms. Patterson to the defendant, Darrell Brooks?
Objection, hearsay.
Overruled.
I did find information through our reporting system and other law enforcement sources to directly link Erica Patterson to Darrell Brooks, yes.
And did that information also directly link Darrell Brooks to a vehicle described as a red SUV?
Yes, it did.
I noticed, Officer Phillips, you are in uniform this afternoon. Were you scheduled to work today?
Yes.
So it would be fair to say that you would be on duty as of now if you weren't giving testimony in this matter.
I would be on duty right now, yes.
So it will also be fair to ask if it would be fair to say that you giving testimony right now, you're still getting paid for it?
I am currently employed by the City of Waukesha Police Department on a working patrol shift, on a normal shift for myself, yes.
So with that, would it be fair to say that you are getting paid right now as we speak?
Yes, I'm getting paid right now.
By whom?
Objection, relevance.
Sustained. Next question.
Were you subpoenaed by the plaintiff in this matter?
Can you rephrase the question?
Were you subpoenaed to testify here today by the plaintiff?
Can you explain it in another way?
That was pretty clear. Were you subpoenaed to testify by the plaintiff in this matter?
I was subpoenaed by the Waukesha County Prosecution's Office to testify in this matter.
And can you say that again just for the record?
I was subpoenaed by the Waukesha County Prosecution's Office in this matter.
Is the Waukesha County Prosecution's Office the plaintiff in this matter?
Objection, irrelevant.
Sustained.
Do you know of any plaintiff in this matter?
Objection, irrelevant.
Sustained.
Have you ever seen the plaintiff in this matter?
Objection, irrelevant.
Have you ever talked
Sustained.
Have you ever talked to the plaintiff in this matter?
Objection, irrelevant.
Sustained.
Why are you continuing to look at parties that are not asking the questions?
Objection, argumentative.
Sustained.
So, in the video, it's kind of hard to hear everything that was said when you pulled over and interviewed the three individuals. Can you give a little more commentary on what was actually said?
Can you clarify exactly?
What exactly were you told by the three individuals that you pulled over to interview?
I don't remember or recall exactly what all three individuals said to me, as 1078 and the screams for help by other officials over the radio were directing my attention to figure out what was also going on downtown. What I recall hearing from these individuals is that one of the individuals that was not Erica indicated that their friend had been in a fight or an altercation. So that's when I decided to pull over to try to get more information out of them. Erica, told me that nothing happened, that there was just a verbal altercation, that she wanted nothing to happen and she just wanted to leave. That's when another one of the individuals said, Erica, you need to report what happened. And she still didn't want to. And that was basically about the extent of it when I just tried to get her name as these calls over the radio were coming for whatever was happening downtown that was unbeknownst to me at the time.
So would it be fair to say that you do recall the commentary of the interview?
I'm sorry. Now I will object as argumentative, Your Honor.
Sustained. What I would say, Mr. Brooks, is the use of the word commentary mischaracterizes the evidence. It's argumentative.
So it would be fair to say that you do recall what was said after already saying you don't recall.
I object. It's argumentative.
Sustained. Rephrase your question.
And just so we're clear for the record, you did not talk to the plaintiff about testifying.
Objection. Vague.
Sustained.
Did you say vague? Were you contacted in any way by the plaintiff to testify here today?
Objection. Irrelevant.
Sustained.
Do you know if there's even a plaintiff in this matter?
I was contacted by the Waukesha County District Attorney's Office to testify in this case.
Do you know if that's the plaintiff in this matter?
Generally, in a criminal case, the plaintiff would be the state of Wisconsin. That is my assumption in this case, that the plaintiff is the state of Wisconsin.
So the state of Wisconsin is the plaintiff in this matter, to your knowledge?
That would be correct, yes.
No further questions, Your Honor.
I'd also like to move Exhibit 1C into the record, please.
Exhibit 1C is received.
Thank you.
I object to that, Your Honor.
Your objection is noted.
Can I state the grounds, if I may?
You may.
There's a point in the video that was shown, like, during the interview part between the officer and the three individuals where,
That's not the exhibit we're talking about.
well,
We're talking about 1C, which is the annotations to the map that were made that are captured by the annotation system that the state just moved in and the court received.
okay. I didn't understand what was being referred to. I was gonna bring this up, but I wanted to wait.
Sir, let's take it up outside the presence of the jury later on. You'll have to remind me later. I've already received the video, which is exhibit number 6.
That video has some language in it that you made an order on. So I just want to put that on the record. Something that you ruled on.
Sir, we'll take it up outside the presence of the jury. All right? I need to keep going on. Next witness, please.
On November 21 of 2021, did you make plans to attend the Waukesha Christmas parade?
Yes, ma'am.
And were you attending that parade with any family members?
Yeah, my wife and 2 kids at the time.
Okay. Permission to publish number 7, please.
Any position on that, Mr. Brooks?
Yeah, I object. It's irrelevant.
Your objection is noted. It's overruled. Exhibit 7 is received. Permission to publish is granted.
I'm going to ask you to please mark with an X where you were positioned on North Street. And North Street is a one-way street, is that correct, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
What's the direction of travel, if you could mark it?
Yeah, so this is
Okay.
the one way.
Okay, perfect. So you're stopped at the lane closest to the gas station?
That's correct.
And what happened as you're sitting there, sir?
About the same time as we were coming up to stop at the stoplight, there was a vehicle that made a left from Barstow onto the wrong way, to go to the wrong way on North Street, and stopped right up against our vehicle.
Okay, could you just draw the travel, the path of travel that you just described, please?
Yeah.
What kind of vehicle was this, sir?
It was a red SUV, kind of an older model.
And you've already indicated that's the wrong way to be going on North Street.
Correct, ma'am.
Overruled.
What did you do when you saw this red SUV turning the wrong way into your path of travel?
We kind of approached that stop line at the same time, and so we were really with the other vehicle hood to hood, and again, my wife and 2 kids were in the car, and the driver of the other vehicle kind of put up their hands. You know, I could see through the 2 windshields that the other driver put up their hands and was kind of gesturing wildly, like, again, I don't know if mouthing's the right word, but kind of frantically. It seemed upset at us that we were, either going the wrong way or. So I kind of did the same thing. Just put my hands up and just kind of was confused because we were coming up to a stoplight, and then a car had approached us and was hood to hood.
Okay. Did you stay parked hood to hood, or what happened?
So the person in the other vehicle kind of made mention with like a knife hand to his right, my left, to go in maybe towards the gas station. But he was kind of pointing to go into the driveway of the gas station. I put the car in reverse, backed up maybe 5 feet, and then the vehicle drove into the gas station parking lot.
Do you know who was driving that car?
Again, windshield to windshield, we were somewhat able to identify basic features, but when the car drove into the parking lot, it kind of stopped, positioned itself at an angle, and the driver rolled down the window.
Okay.
should I draw where they stopped?
Sure.
So the vehicle drove in and kind of stopped on a diagonal like this.
All right. And you're still stopped at the stoplight
Correct.
there?
Still stopped at the stoplight.
Okay.
So the other driver rolled down the window of their vehicle. I just, as a reaction, also rolled down the window of my. I don't know why. It's just a reaction of. So the other driver rolled down their window, maybe halfway, and stuck his head out and kind of looked back. And he said, why didn't you get out of the way? And I'm trying to get gas. And I said, well, it's a one-way.
Okay.
You're going the wrong way down the runway. Well, I'm telling you, I need to get gas. And I go, oh, okay, man. And then it was a green light, and then we proceeded. So.
Okay. Do you think you can identify the driver of that red SUV?
Yes, I think so.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you see that person present in this courtroom here?
I do, yeah.
Your Honor, I'm going to ask that Mr. Brooks be instructed to remove his mask temporarily.
Mr. Brooks, you're instructed to take off your mask temporarily and look up, please. Thank you.
So at the time, it was a lot more dark facial hair features and longer hair as well. So, because again, I would have saw through the windshield once, but then also with the window rolled down, kind of looking back. So maybe just like the forehead and then the long, massive hair.
Sure. So different than he looks today with kind of a clean shaven or very short hairstyle
Yes,
and
ma'am.
scruff or stubble on his chin?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, but you do think it was Darrell Brooks that was driving that car based on seeing him in court here today?
I do, ma'am.
Okay. Did it appear to you as though Mr. Brooks was alone in the car?
Yes, it did.
You only saw one person in that car
That's correct.
at that?
The objection is overruled.
Okay, now let's go back to the parade. You said you were near the 5 points?
Yes,
It
ma'am.
was very windy that night, right?
Yes.
Objection irrelevant.
Overruled.
Did you see a red SUV go through the parade as you were watching it, sir?
Yes, ma'am. The vehicle approached from our left. There was somebody that flew through the air, and then it exited to the right of our perspective.
Okay, but you did unfortunately see a person flying through the air?
Yes, ma'am.
Could you tell anything about the person as far as what group or unit they were with? If you know. If you don't know, that's okay.
No, it was just dark clothing.
Okay.
The objection is overruled. His answer may stand. Mr. Brooks?
I'm sorry. Yep. Thank you, Ms. Basie. Could I please ask the clerk to make a screenshot and mark it as 1D, and then I would move to admit.
I don't see the relevance of this.
Your objection is noted. It's overruled. The court receives Exhibit 7A. Do you have any questions for this witness?
Yes, I do. Would it be fair to say that you were interviewed by an officer, a female officer?
Yes.
And would it also be fair that you you gave a written statement to that same officer?
I think I signed the statement that she wrote.
So it'd be fair to say that the officer wrote down what you told her?
Yes.
And do you remember the date that interview took place?
A couple days after the parade incident.
Any reason why it wouldn't have been the same day as the parade?
I would assume that they were rendering aid to the victims of the incident, and it took a while to get back to anybody that had called in with any altercations, or not altercations, but interactions.
Do you recall stating in this interview that you saw the news and a picture of the male driving the said SUV?
I believe in the statement I said that I wanted to provide a description of who I had the interaction with before I saw any picture of anybody on the news.
Well, let me back up. Did you see a picture of the alleged defendant on the news?
Yes, but not before I provided the description to the officer.
So the description that you gave would that be the same officer that did the interview?
I called the evening of the incident. I called the non-emergency line and provided a description at maybe 10:30 that evening of the event, and then provided the same description to the officer, a few days later.
Do you recall why you called the non-emergency line for something that would have been so big that it should have been an emergency call?
Objection, argumentative.
Sustained. Please rephrase the question, Mr. Brooks.
Any reason why you would call the non-emergency line?
Yeah, someone going down a wrong way on a one-way street a few minutes before the parade didn't seem like an emergency compared to what had happened at the parade.
So, would it be fair to say that you were then reporting someone going down the wrong way, trying to get into the gas station at that time?
At what time?
At the time that you called the non-emergency number.
I wanted to report that I had seen someone in a red SUV going the wrong way down a one-way before the parade, and the possibility that it was connected to the red SUV that I had seen drive through the parade.
So at that time, would it be fair to say you weren't sure if there was a connection?
I would say that I had a red SUV 5 feet from my hood, and then I saw a red SUV drive through the parade and wanted to, notify the police that I had seen that.
So at the time, were you sure that there was a connection?
Pretty sure, yes.
What would have made you pretty sure?
The color of the SUV, the approximate age of the SUV, the timing between the 20 minutes of where I was in Waukesha to the 25 minutes later that I had seen the red SUV go through the parade.
Would it be fair to say that you just described the SUV that made the wrong turn going into the gas station as an older model? I think that was your correct words. Is that fair?
Yes.
Is there any reason why you wouldn't be able to make the connection between the older model SUV that you saw going into the gas station and the one that you saw in the parade?
No, they were similar age. I guess older subjective. I mean, it was a similar age, the one I saw before the parade and the one I saw during the parade.
So it'd be fair to say that you weren't exactly sure.
I'm pretty sure they were the same vehicle.
Do you recall in your statement saying that you were 95% sure?
That sounds right, yes. 95%. I would give that same percentage, yes.
Why not? Why would you not be 100% sure if you say that you believe that they were the same vehicle?
Objection, argumentative.
Sustained. Please rephrase the question, Mr. Brooks.
I guess I'll say it like, what put any doubt in your head that they weren't the same vehicle?
I wasn't able to see the driver of the person going through the parade because it was moving so fast. So I guess there's a very, very small chance that the red SUV I saw beforehand happened to be a similar year, make, and model and color of the SUV that I saw go through the parade.
So you weren't exactly sure who was driving the SUV in the parade?
Correct.
Do you recall saying that his voice was the same?
Yes. So when the second interview had taken place, again, I wanted to provide the description to the officer, the visual description the night of. But just as I did now, I'm 95% sure that the interaction that I had prior to the parade was with you.
Who do you refer to when you say you?
Whatever your name is.
So you don't know the alleged defendant's name?
I do, yeah.
Would it be safe to assume that if you couldn't see who was driving the SUV in the parade route, that you also couldn't identify if it was the same voice?
The voice has nothing to do with the driver of the vehicle driving the parade. Again, it was moving too quickly. I wasn't able to identify the driver when I saw the vehicle going through the parade.
So would it be safe to assume that you got the description from the news and picture of the person that you seen on the news?
The person and the voice that I saw in the news matched who I interacted with prior to the parade.
But just so we're clear for the record, there was no way you saw who was driving the vehicle in the parade route.
Correct.
Going back to the interaction at the gas station, do you recall telling the interviewing officer that the driver of that vehicle rolled down the window to say, "I'm almost out of gas"?
Yes.
Do you recall backing your vehicle up to let the driver of that car into the gas station?
Yes.
Do you remember how far you backed up?
5 feet.
Do you remember telling the reporting officer who was writing down your statement that it was 10 feet?
5 to 10 feet.
Was it 5 feet or 10 feet?
It was enough to let the vehicle into the gas station.
So would it be safe to say that you don't recall?
It would be safe to say it's between 5 and 10 feet.
And the second reporting was before you actually were interviewed, correct? Just so we're clear for the record.
What do you mean by the second reporting?
The second time that you called to make a report about the gas station incident, that was before you ultimately were interviewed by law enforcement.
That's correct. The second call was just to make sure that they still had my name, and I didn't really file a formal report that second time. It was just a call to see that they still had my name and contact info, and they had said that an officer would be out eventually to interview.
At that time, when you called to make sure that they still had your name on file, or your report about the gas station incident, at that time, had you made any connection to that incident and what you saw at the parade?
Your Honor, I'm going to object. We've been through this.
Sustained. It's been asked and answered.
And were you subpoenaed by the state of Wisconsin to testify here today?
It was either the state or the county. I received a letter from the county.
Did they identify as the plaintiff in this matter?
Objection. Irrelevant.
Sustained.
Do you see the state of Wisconsin in the courtroom today?
Objection, Your Honor. Vague.
Sustained.
To the best of your knowledge, do you know if the state of Wisconsin is the plaintiff in this matter?
Objection. Irrelevant.
Sustained.
Have you ever had any interaction with the state of Wisconsin?
Objection. Irrelevant.
Sustained.
Ever had a phone conversation with the state of Wisconsin?
Objection. Irrelevant.
Sustained.
Do you even know the state of Wisconsin?
Same objection.
Sustained. Mr. Brooks.
And you,
New topic, or I'll stop the cross-examination under 90611.
1 second. Did you ever see the vehicle that went into the gas station actually get gas?
When we turned left onto Barstow, I noticed that the vehicle didn't stop for gas and was gonna either exit to go back on north, but it didn't stop at a gas pump.
Did you see the vehicle pull off from the gas station, or was it just kind of stationary parked?
I can't say to what the vehicle did because I was already at that point out of view. I just know that it had not gone to one of the gas pumps.
It was right here. There we go.
Okay. And as you approach that intersection, do you remember if you had to stop for the stoplight there?
Yes, it had just turned red.
Okay.
So I stopped at the stoplight, and I immediately saw a red SUV come from down the hill on Barstow, and it turned into North Street to go into the gas station. However, it turned on a one-way street, and it was like head-to-head with the car next to me,
Okay.
in the first lane. And so I was right next to the silver car.
Sure.
And
How about, could you draw that for us on the map
yeah,
the best you can?
so it came down here and into this first lane right here.
Okay. And that's where the silver car was parked?
Yeah.
Or stopped, I should say.
Yes, and there is a driveway to the gas station right here,
Okay.
and the silver car was blocking that driveway because it's an exit, not an enter.
Okay.
Presumably the red SUV is mad that the silver car is blocking to get into the gas station. The silver car is like, I'm not doing anything wrong. So they were both kind of upset. And then I noticed the silver car backed up to allow the red SUV to get into the gas station.
Okay. Could you see into the red SUV and see the driver of that vehicle?
After the SUV pulled in, he stopped immediately as soon as he got into the driveway and stuck his head out and was still doing this, like yelling at the silver car.
It appeared he was yelling.
Yes.
Did he appear angry to you?
Irritated.
Okay. How many people were in that red SUV at that point? Or did you see anybody other than the driver?
I did not see anybody else.
Okay. Do you think you can identify the driver of that red SUV?
Yes.
Is that person present in the courtroom here today?
Yes.
All right, I'm going to ask Mr. Brooks to remove his mask, Your Honor, for identification by this witness.
Mr. Brooks, thank you. Record to reflect, he took his mask down.
Yes.
Is that the driver of the red SUV you just described for us?
Yes.
Okay. Did you eventually go on to the parade?
Yes. After the SUV got in and stuck his head out, then the light turned green and I went and parked my car.
Okay.
And then met with my family at
Okay.
the location.
Okay. And did you see a red SUV on the parade route?
Yes, about 30 minutes into getting there.
Okay.
So at first, so a group had just passed us. I believe it was the Catholic community group. And then there was a large gap. And so I looked to see, what's next.
Okay.
And saw a red SUV, which I originally thought was part of the parade, in the far right lane of Main Street, but it was going really fast, and I said to myself, why is this going so fast? And then it clicked as soon as it switched over to the far left lane, and then into the group of people right in front of me.
And that will be the Catholic community group?
I do believe so.
Did you see the red SUV strike any people in the Catholic community group?
Several.
Can you estimate how many?
At least 15.
Okay. And did, I'm sorry to ask it this way, but did you see anybody actually fly or roll or tumble?
Yeah, so originally I heard sounds like thuds, and then it was in the air, like bowling pins.
Did you get a look at the driver of the vehicle as it went through the parade?
I saw a man focused on the group ahead of him.
Is that Darrell Brooks that you saw?
Yes, and as soon as that happened, about 10 seconds after, I froze and I said to my mom, who was with me, I just saw that guy at the gas station. And it clicked that it was the same person.
You remember exactly that it was the same person?
Yes.
Were you able to estimate the speed of the vehicle at that time?
Objection, hearsay.
Overruled.
Would you be able to estimate the speed?
I would say 20 miles per hour, perhaps.
Okay. Did you ever see the vehicle stop?
I think had to at least very well slow down. It couldn't just continue on over as many bodies as it did. I remember the brake lights, but then it continued.
Did you actually see the vehicle drive over people?
I saw it hit the group and people fly, and then there was just chaos in the street.
Okay.
Mr. Brooks, do you have any cross-exam for this witness?
I do. First of all, good afternoon. You stated that you saw brake lights. Would that be fair to say?
Mm-hmm.
Was that a yes?
Yes.
Thank you.
Would it be fair to say you would only see brake lights from a vehicle if it was attempting to stop?
Or slow.
So, just so I'm clear on that, you would see brake lights on a vehicle that is attempting to slow down or stop.
Sure.
And you stated that you can estimate the speed of the vehicle.
I estimated 20 miles per hour.
Would you characterize that as extremely fast?
Yes, for the parade, yes.
And how did you come to the conclusion of the speed?
With how quickly it went from point A to point B in my range of sight.
I would need to see the map again.
We
You
still
were-
have that available? The map? We still have the map with the markings available up, or was it cleared after we captured it?
I didn't clear it. Yeah,
Okay.
could we please save that as 7B, please, Your Honor?
It will be saved as 7P.
And admitted.
Any position on that, Mr. Brooks?
Yeah, I don't see the relevancy of the map.
It's directly related to her testimony, sir. It's relevant. Your objection is noted.
So,
It's overruled. Exhibit 7B is received.
where were you positioned again at the stoplight?
I was in the front row in the middle lane.
Do you recall if the vehicle you saw going into the gas station had any tinted windows?
I do not.
And you stated that you were pretty sure it was only one occupant of that vehicle?
Yes, that's all I could see.
With all you can see, or are you sure that it was only one occupant?
I could see one person.
So it'd be fair to say you couldn't see any other seats in the vehicle?
I saw one person when it was head to head with the vehicle next to me, the one with the arms in the air, and then I saw one person as he stuck his head out the window once he pulled in.
Could you see the passenger seat?
I could not from
Could you
that point.
Could you see the back seats?
No.
Do you recall who subpoenaed you here to testify?
Yes.
You stated for the record?
Yes, I said. Oh, the state of Wisconsin District Attorney.
Do you see the state of Wisconsin present in the courtroom today?
Objection irrelevant.
Sustained. Mr. Brooks, move on. Under 90611, I've sustained all of the objections related to this line of questioning. It's not relevant. Next topic, or I will find that the cross-examination by you is done.
So you're sustaining every question pertaining to that part of questioning? Or is it for
Yes.
every testimony? Or
It's on that topic, so you may continue if you choose another topic.
have you ever seen the plaintiff, state of Wisconsin, before?
Right, pursuant to 90611, judge controls the order and mode of interrogation, that these questions violate sub 1, and Mr. Brooks will not be able to ask any further questions of this witness. Does the state have any redirect?
No redirect, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. You may step down.
What was
Mr.
violated?
Brooks, I'm not going to address that right now. I think this will be a good time to take our afternoon break. All rise for the jurors, please. There was one particular request I do want to take up by Mr. Brooks, and that is at 1:11 p.m. he sent a note to the court indicating, I'm very emotional right now, can I go to the other court? I responded to that at 1:20 p.m. and I said the court will address this at the next break. Clerk advised to provide a copy of this response to the parties forthwith. Are you asking to go to the other courtroom?
We went back on the record. I was very emotional at that time. Still very emotional, but I'm attempting as best I can to hold it together. That does lead me to, since we are addressing certain things outside the...
Well, I'm addressing this first, sir. Are you making a request to go to the other
I'm not
courtroom?
making any requests at this time. Like I just stated, I'm trying my best to hold everything together considering how this day has been. I can't expect anybody else to know what's inside my head to know what I'm going through right now, but yeah, we'll just leave that there.
All right, thank you. At some point, sir, after I admitted Exhibit 6, you raised an objection. I told you I would allow you to raise that outside the presence of the jury. Now is your opportunity to do that.
And which one would you be referring to?
Exhibit 6, sir.
Or the video?
We've seen multiple videos, but yes, Exhibit 6 is a video, sir.
I think it's very clear what I was referring to in that video. The interview portion of the officer with the 3 individuals has language in it that you made a ruling about, pertaining to a whole different entire...
Which part of the video, sir?
The interview part. I'm going to say it again, as I've already said it clearly enough. The interview part between the officer and the 3 individuals.
And what specifically are you referring to? What statement, sir? I need some specificity.
Do you need it played? Do you need it played?
Mr. Brooks, you're the one making the objection. Please make your offer of proof so I can rule on it.
The offer of proof is that there's language said by Erica Patterson in that interview that can be audible, referring to another situation in another county. You made a ruling on that would not be admitted into evidence. So at the very least, that portion of the video that you've already admitted into evidence should be removed, or the whole video should be struck and removed from the record. And I'm saying that because of the ruling that you made, the judicial determination that you made, Your Honor.
Let me turn to the state. Attorney Opper, I don't specifically recall. If I need to review it on a break, maybe I will, but do you have any idea what this is referring to?
I do not, Your Honor. I did not hear anything in that recording that would violate your previous orders.
I object to that. It's very clear if the video was played that you can hear language said in that portion of the video that you clearly ruled on.
I'll review it at a later point in time. The state will need to just file that clip on a flash drive so I can review that in chambers. In addition to the audio from the squad, you can hear the radio, so I will need to review it again. Mr. Brooks, I'd appreciate if you not roll your eyes at me. There was a lot going on in that video. I'm gonna take the time, not now during the trial, but on a break when I can look at it in chambers and keep a careful ear out for what you said, and then I'll come back and make my ruling. So that's giving deference to your request. So I don't think it warrants you rolling your eyes at me.
I wasn't rolling my eyes to you about
So
that.
with that, we're on recess, 15 minutes, everyone. The court's stepping.
Your Honor.
Mr. Brooks, you have incredible hearing because you are right. At approximately 2:58 to 2:59 in that video, I can hear Erica Patterson saying that I get into an argument, or I argue with my baby daddy all the time, and he previously ran over my foot. So I'm going to take the request under advisement. At this point, I'm inclined to strike this exhibit from the state's case. I'm going to give the parties over the weekend to file any written requests regarding it or further authority, and I'll address it first thing Monday morning. So thank you for bringing that to my attention.
I'm not interrupting you.
No, go ahead.
Did you make a ruling on the filing for the demand of verified statement of particulars by affidavit?
Mr. Brooks, I'm not going to address that. It is an argument that's without merit. I'm summarily denying it yet again. We're going to bring the jury back out, okay? We're going to continue with testimony. Does the state have the next witness available?
We do, Your Honor.
Your objection is noted for the record. We're continuing, Mr. Brooks. Thank you.
I'm aware of that, Your Honor. I was just trying to make sure I didn't interrupt you while you were saying something. So
State's next witness, please.
Will you be proving the subject matter?
We need the jury here.
Oh, we do. Oh, sometimes I get a little ahead of myself. Let's bring the jury out.
Tenant's motion to dismiss this case for lack of personal and subject matter jurisdiction. And I'd like to state that for the record.
Your statement is noted.
You have not proven subject matter jurisdiction yet, Your Honor. Are you making a judicial
And
determination?
I direct your attention to the Barnaby decision, Mr. Brooks.
Is that a judicial determination? The record should reflect in that I got no answer.
Directing your attention to the date of November 21, 2021. Were you on duty that day, sir?
Yes, I was.
In what capacity?
Well, my rank was detective, but I was assigned to the Christmas parade as traffic control.
Okay. Just helping out?
Just helping out.
All right.
My position was on White Rock Avenue and East Main Street.
How many units were impacted directly by the conduct of Mr. Darrell Brooks?
There was 8 units that all had people that were injured during the parade.
Just to be clear, sir, well, if we could please put up Exhibit 1. It's the easiest way to ask my question.
Exhibit 1 will be published.
I would quickly like to object to being called that name. I do not recognize the name that the prosecutor used.
Your objection is noted. It's overruled.
Do you believe this clip that we're about to show the jury will be a truthful and accurate representation of the parade units as they entered the parade route?
Objection, hearsay.
Overruled.
Yes, I do believe that they do.
Okay. Move to admit number 10 and permission to publish, Your Honor.
For the record, how long is Exhibit 10?
It is 3 minutes and 31 seconds, Your Honor.
Any position by Mr. Brooks?
I object with grounds.
Your objection is noted. It's overruled.
What are the grounds?
The Exhibit 10 is received. Permission to publish is granted.
What
Mr. Brooks, your objection is noted. It's overruled. I'll answer this. I believe the evidence is relevant to the charges in this case.
Did the Catholic community of Waukesha, did the participants for that group wear any specific clothing or uniforms, to your knowledge?
No, they do not.
The objection is noted. It's overruled. Then the answer may stand.
And now at about the 24-second mark, what's the next unit coming into the screen?
The Dancing Grannies?
Okay, and they had a banner?
Correct.
Okay.
And the woman on the left-hand side of the screen is Virginia Sorensen.
On the left-hand side of the screen, or the left-hand side of the street?
Objection. That was not the question asked, who the person was.
Do you know about how many people are involved with this unit?
Objection irrelevant.
Overruled. You may answer.
I would estimate about 35 girls, younger age, varying.
Okay. All right, that's the end of that clip. I'd like to show you another clip that's been marked as State's Exhibit number 11 so that we can continue with the parade units, please. We'll preview it for you, sir.
Objection. What is the relevancy?
Your objection is noted. It is overruled. And you may question the witness regarding the exhibit. I would note for Mr. Brooks that in addition to being relevant to the charges, it also goes to background and context.
What do you mean by background?
Background to the event. Events that led up to
Like
all
detail,
of the charges, the reason for why we're here.
detail background?
It's regarding the parade, sir.
I don't understand, but okay. Don't understand.
Your statement's noted for the record.
You have seen State's Exhibit number 11 before, correct?
Yes, I have.
Do you believe it's a
Hold
true?
on, there's been an objection. Are you objecting to the question?
I'm objecting to, is that the same video? I don't see the same person that was directly in the camera view when it was sideways. It looks like a totally different video.
Sir, it's not been admitted yet. The state's laying a foundation for that. And I'm gonna let them continue questioning.
You have seen State's Exhibit number 11 before, correct?
Yes, I have.
And you believe it's a true and accurate representation of the events of November 21, 2021?
Objection.
Yeah.
Hearsay.
Your objection is noted. It's overruled.
Permission to publish, Your Honor.
Mr. Brooks, any position on the admission of Exhibit
Yes,
11?
I definitely object. This is not the same video that was just attempted to be shown. This is a totally different video.
Mr. Brooks, your objection is noted. There wasn't much testimony about whatever that prior exhibit was, and I'm going off of his testimony about seeing this particular video clip. There's the still image in front of him that he identified he previously reviewed, and it's accurate, true and accurate. So based on that, your objection's noted, but it is overruled. I'll receive Exhibit 11. Permission to publish is granted.
Can you strike the last video then that didn't?
The last video wasn't admitted, sir. There were technical issues. They moved on. We will continue. Go ahead.
Were some of the players wearing their baseball jerseys?
Yes, they were.
And other individuals just had on like hats and coats and nothing discernible, correct?
Objection. Irrelevant. Everybody had on coats and hats.
Your objection's noted. It's overruled.
So most of the players had their jerseys on with their numbers on the back, but there was also some coaches that were marching with them, and they just had regular jackets and hats that were on when they were walking.
Okay. That's the Remax group going through, correct, sir?
That is correct.
Are those the 8 units that were most directly impacted by Mr. Brooks' actions on the parade route, sir?
Yep.
I do not recognize that name or consent to being called that.
Your objection's noted, it's overruled.
Yes, they were.
Did you and other members of the Waukesha Police Department attempt to identify all the individuals who were injured as a result of Mr. Brooks' actions on the parade route?
Objection, I do not consent to being called that name.
Overruled.
Yes, we did.
And about roughly how many people was that?
There are over 60 people that were injured that we identified.
Can you please identify State's Exhibit 15?
This is a map that I put together that identifies the officers that were on the scene, certain locations of interest that people mentioned when they were interviewed, also identifies the victims and the deceased that died during the parade event.
Is this an accurate summary of your investigation, sir?
Yes, it is.
Move to admit number 15 and permission to publish.
Mr. Brooks, any position? Your objection's noted. The exhibit is received.
What was the last group to be impacted by the defendant's vehicle?
The Catholic communities of Waukesha.
And have you listed there the names of all the individuals who were injured by the defendant's vehicle related to the Catholic communities of Waukesha?
Yes, I have.
Overruled.
I don't identify or consent to being called the defendant.
Your objection's noted.
Was the drone able to travel the length of the parade route?
This captures from the area where the people started being injured. We didn't capture the entire route.
Okay,
This is where the Extreme Dance Club was when they were impacted.
okay.
For the record, that was at 2:34.
Thank you, ma'am. At the 240 mark here, what's this business on the right?
Objection. Just for the record, who are the people off to the right?
You can question the witness during cross-examination, okay?
In this corner where the blankets were, there's 3 kids that were sitting there that were impacted.
Okay.
So in this area, when the vehicle that was hitting and killing all these people came up to the bend in the road, it turned to the left, and Officer Schulten was standing there, and he made the decision to use deadly force to attempt to stop the vehicle.
Okay. And that's this intersection here that we're seeing where the 2 squad cars are parked?
Yes, it is.
This is the area where Officer Schulten was standing when he fired at the defendant's vehicle?
Yes, it is.
All right. Sir, I want to show you another item that's been marked as exhibit. Exhibit 141. May I approach the witness, Your Honor?
You may. I made a few exceptions to that, sir.
Will I be awarded the same?
Mr. Brooks, we'll take that up later.
Sir, can you please identify number 141?
This is a list of everyone that is named victim in this case, which count it refers to, and the group that they are associated with.
Is that a summary of the testimony that you just provided, sir?
Objection. First, are we still looking at the video?
No, we can turn that off. Thank you. So your objection is, that is granted. Do you have an objection to the question that was asked? Okay, keep going.
Yes, it is.
Okay, I'm not going to publish that, Your Honor. Just want it in the record.
Mr. Brooks, any position on that?
Yeah, I object. Is that a document?
Your objection is noted. It's overruled and the court will receive it.
Will I be able to view it?
A copy will be provided to you if it's not within the materials previously.
How did you try and stop the car, the Ford Escape?
Well, at first I was a little surprised that the vehicle kept coming at me because I'm in full police uniform, I'm standing in front of it, and it started closing the distance pretty fast. So as the vehicle approached me, I started pounding on the hood.
So you were close enough to pound on the hood of the car?
Yes, I was in the roadway and the distance closed really fast.
Okay. So you pound on the hood.
Correct.
Do you say anything?
I'm yelling stop and pounding on the hood and trying to get the person's attention so they can stop.
What happened?
The vehicle continued going. It like pushed right through me.
Were you struck by the car?
Yes.
How?
The vehicle contacted my body, and as it continued, I pushed down the left front of the vehicle.
Okay. And were you injured?
No.
Okay. Did you see the driver of the car as it raced past you?
Yes, I did.
Did you get a good look?
An excellent look.
Who was driving that car, sir?
Darrell Brooks, the defendant.
You're 100% sure of that?
1,000.
Was there anybody else in the car, sir?
Not that I saw. There's a number of people that are on the sides of the roads that were spectators in the parade, and then there's people that were actually marching in the parade that you can see they have red shirts on.
Do you believe it's a true and accurate representation of the events of November 21, 2021?
Absolutely.
And this clip is about 28 seconds long, is that right?
Yes.
Move to admit and permission to publish number 8.
Mr. Brooks, any position on that?
What is the relevancy of
Is that an objection?
it? Yes, Your Honor.
Your objection's noted, it's overruled. Exhibit 8 is received, permission to publish is granted.
So I'm going to play it through once, and we're just going to watch it, and then I'll ask you what we saw, and we can go back if we need to. Show us, circle where the jury's supposed to be looking right now. And what are we going to see up there?
You should see me walk from the right-hand side to the left-hand side, slow speed at first and then speeding up towards the end.
You are. In other words, you picked up the pace.
Correct. And then shortly after, you'll see the red Ford Escape come down the street here and traverse westbound on Main Street.
You're in a bright fluorescent yellow safety vest, right?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, play, please. Right there, is that you?
Yeah, that is me.
Okay, 12 seconds. Circle yourself, please. We're paused at 12 seconds. Okay. Okay, go ahead and play, please. There's the red SUV.
Correct.
Okay.
The photo is up.
Okay. Have you seen this photograph before, sir?
Yes, I have.
This is State's Exhibit 120. Do you believe this photograph is a true and accurate representation of the events of November 21, 2021?
Yes, I do.
You've seen this photograph before, sir?
Yes, I have.
Okay. Just tell the jury what it's a picture of.
It's a picture of the Ford Escape that was involved in this incident, and Darrell Brooks, the defendant, driving the vehicle.
Okay. Move to admit 120 and permission to publish.
Object.
Your objection is noted, it's overruled. Exhibit 120 is received, permission to publish is granted.
I don't consent to being called that name or defendant.
Your objection's noted.
Objection for hearsay as well.
Overruled.
Is that what Darrell Brooks looked like as he drove past you just a block or two earlier?
Objection. I do not consent to being called that name. I do not know anyone by that name, nor do I agree to being called that name. And it's hearsay.
It's not hearsay, your objection's overruled. You may answer, Detective.
Yes, that's the defendant, Darrell Brooks, the person that drove past me and didn't stop when I tried to stop the vehicle.
Is that how he looked as he drove past you?
Yes, it is.
I don't have any other questions for this witness at this time, Your Honor.
Right, Mr. Brooks, I will give you an opportunity to cross-examine, but that will be Monday morning since it is 4:41. Now 4:42. We've had a long week for the jurors and a couple of long nights. With that, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, you are excused for the weekend. We'll see you Monday morning. All rise for the jury, please. All right, anything else we need to address before we conclude for the weekend from the state?
You were going to rule later as to Detective Guth and Erica Patterson. So we do not intend to recall these individuals. We would seek to release them from our subpoenas if they are on Mr. Brooks' witness list, which he has due on Monday, and he wants them subpoenaed. We would make arrangements to have them return. Or maybe we should wait to see his witness list on Monday.
Let's wait to see the witness list on Monday, please. That's your due date. So I expect that will be filed, and then I can take up the issue of releasing individuals from their subpoenas. All right, Mr. Brooks, anything from you at this time?
I'm definitely gonna have the subpoenas. Like I said, I would need to, I guess, confer with how to properly get them done and filed in the right fashion.
Mr. Brooks, I've advised you previously. The state has offered for any witnesses, and the state can correct me if I'm wrong, but it's my understanding you have offered for witnesses that are on the state's witness list, that if Mr. Brooks names them, and absent, I guess, any objection by you for some lawful reason, you would assist in getting those subpoenas to those individuals.
Yes, and he wouldn't necessarily be limited to our list. We've offered, in addition to that, if there are relevant witnesses and it's reasonable to get them served, that is the southeastern Wisconsin area, we will assist in that, Your Honor.
All right, thank you.
I still hadn't even gone through the entire witness list from the prosecution. It was 30 plus pages. That's a lot of names.
I
So
agree,
it was
Mr. Brooks, there's a lot of names, but I
pretty
actually
impossible to
extended
know.
the filing deadlines. They all have come and passed, but I, obviously in light of you representing yourself, I extended that, and have ordered that you file your witness list by Monday. So that's how we will address that. Do you have any other issues at this time?
Yes, I do. The statement of particulars that hasn't been responded to by affidavit. The notice of special appearance hasn't been
I
responded
direct
to.
your attention to the Barnaby decision, sir. The court's not going to be addressing that topic any further.
So what about the subject matter jurisdiction?
Sir, that's an argument that has been debunked repeatedly by the courts in the United States of America, all over the place. It is not recognized as any type of issue that a court needs to address. It is summarily denied.
Can you show proof that it has no relevancy, Your Honor?
I direct you to the Barnaby decision, sir. All right.
Can you show proof of that,
I'm sorry?
Your Honor? Verified?
Give them what?
Can you show a verified affidavit of that?
No. All right. Mr. Brooks, the hearing today is concluded. We'll see everyone back here
So
on
you
Monday
got
at
judicial
8:30
determination
a.m.
that
We
you
are
will
in
not
recess.
answer that question, Your Honor?